Hi, this is Trey Passer. Welcome to my review of The Little Things. This is a Denzel Washington movie that came out on the 29th on HBO Max and in theaters, certain theaters that are open. Okay, this review is going to be straight, but then there's going to be a spoiler section to this review because I know the ending is kind of controversial to people. So I want to discuss that, but I'll put a thing up that says spoiler, so that way people know. But this first part of the review will not have spoilers in it. Anyway, this is about Denzel Washington. He stars in this. I don't know if this is the first movie that has 3 Oscar winners in it all at once. Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto. I have to look that up and see, Google that and see. I'm pretty sure there's probably been other movies with Oscar winners in it, although I don't, probably not, there weren't Oscar winners at the time. But this is one of the first movies I think that has 3 Oscar winners, you know, that have won before, all in one movie. Anyway, this movie is written and directed by John Lee Hancock. I know he's done a few other Denzel Washington movies before, but anyway, Denzel Washington plays a character named Kern County Deputy Sheriff Joe Deacon. He's sent to Los Angeles by his boss to pick up some evidence for a potential trial that's coming up. Okay, and then he gets dragged into this hut in Los Angeles for a serial killer that's going around killing young women. Okay, and we find out through the course of the story that Denzel Washington actually worked in LA before, but he's since been divorced. He had a heart attack, and like I said, he's moved to this Kern County, and he's like a deputy sheriff, just while in the time out, until he eventually retires. And he gets drawn into this case by Rami Malek, who plays Detective Jim Baxter, who's in charge, who actually has his old job. He's in charge of it, he's a detective, and he's in charge of this investigation. It's not for a serial killer. And Jared Leto plays Albert Spama, who's a suspect in these murders. Okay, and like I said, this movie's about 2 hours and 7 minutes. Like I said, you have to pay attention to it because this is more of like a character study, and it's a real interesting movie. I was watching it and seeing how it plays out, because it takes its time, setting up the characters, and you get to know them, and you get to know, like I said, like Jim Baxter, Rami Malek's character. He's a father, 2 daughters, and so of course he's taken this case seriously, of course, and he wants to find who's doing this, terrorizing this city. Okay, and he gets introduced by other people that've been there before that tell them about Joe Deacon, how he was a good cop and all this stuff, and how he had a heart attack and all this stuff. He was driven on this previous case of serial murder, and he had the heart attack, got divorced, and basically had to leave town. Okay, and so it kind of leans on him to get like information from him, and they start investigating this case together. And like I said, Jared Leto's character, he's sort of a weird character. He's sort of a follower of serial murders, I guess you could say. He's just a weird character. He likes actually messing with the cops in this story. Okay, and like I said, it's about 2 hours and 7 minutes, but it's a slow pacing movie. But I liked it a lot. Okay, I liked it a lot because, like I said, when you get 3 good actors together, okay, and you get the story about these murders that are going on, and you're wondering, who's killing this and who's doing this, and is this the right suspect? It plays out, in a nice leisurely way. Like I said, some people get bored with that, but not me. I like when it's a good story and you have good actors in it. I know it might be a little slow to some people, but to me, it wasn't slow. I was into it all the way through, and I enjoyed it a lot. I think apparently on International Movie Database they give it a 6.3 because I think some people think it was slow and stuff, and I think some people didn't like the ending of it, but I liked the movie a lot, and I would give this movie, Little Things, I would give it an 8. I liked it a lot, slow pace, and like I said, and you get to know these characters, and you get to see exactly what Joe Deacon, his character, is all about, and what things he's going through, what he has in his head, and to me, I liked it a lot, and get these 3 actors together, I think it was a real good thing, and I enjoyed the movie a lot. That's why I'm going to give it an 8. Now, this part right here is going to be spoilers, okay? This part coming up now is going to be spoilers. Okay, now, if you want to turn away, turn away. Okay, now, anyway, it turns out that Joe Deacon, a.k.a. Denzel Washington, his character, he was investigating a serial murder before, and he wound up accidentally killing one of the girls that they were looking for. She kind of came out of like a behind a tree or something, startled him, and he shot her. And apparently his boss and the coroner, they covered it up for him. And of course, this really made him go off the rails. And like I said, they said he had a triple bypass, and he drank, he got divorced, and then he basically got sent away from that department. That's why he was in Kern County being like a deputy sheriff, just biding his time until he retires. So basically, they covered for him for his murder. And there's a thing that he says in the movie. I think he says it a couple of times, like this: the little things. When he's talking to Jim Baxter, Rami Malek's character, he says the little things that can mess you up and destroy your life and all that stuff. And what he means by that, because we find out later that they suspect that Albert Sparmer is the serial killer. They think he's the one that's doing it. After they do some investigation, and Denzel Washington kind of zero ins on him, and he kind of brings Jim Baxter along to his way of thinking. And there's a point in the movie where they're staking out his house, and he actually Denzel Washington kind of leaves to go get coffee, and Albert Sparmer goes up to Jim Baxter and tells him, "Listen, I did it. Okay, and the missing girl, the latest missing girl, I know what she is." He basically tells him, "Come with me, and I'll show you where the body is." And he thinks about it for a while, and then he actually gets in the car and goes off with him. And of course, Denzel Washington character comes later at seeing them driving off, and gets in the car and follows them. But basically what it is this Jared Leto's character, Albert Sparmer, he just likes to mess with people, and he wasn't the killer. Okay, he just basically he actually drove him out to this remote desert place, and he said, "Okay, the body's there, you're getting one." He's basically making a big hole, a bunch of holes, and basically just messing with him. Okay, and he's not a killer. He just likes to, because you see in his apartment earlier in the movie that he has like a police scanner, and he has like articles on these murderers and stuff. So he's just like a wannabe. Okay, but he's not really a killer, but he likes effing with the police. And it just frustrates Rami Malek's character so much that he actually hits him with a shovel and kills him. Okay, and of course Denzel Washington, then he pulls up and to find out where they are, and he helps them cover up basically this murder. He basically tells them just dig a bigger hole and we'll put his body in there. And they basically empty out his apartment and stuff, and they just bury him. And he tells them, forget about it. Okay. He said, just he's basically telling them this is one of these things that you're just gonna forget about. Okay, just forget about it. You're a good man, but forget about it. It's what's done is done. And basically he covers it up, and so, but this, he said, he tells him, take a few weeks off, because basically he was told earlier, Jim Baxter, that they were his boss was telling him he basically had 2 days because they're bringing in the FBI to solve this case, because the big city's getting pressure to solve this case, so they're going to bring in the FBI. So that's why they were kind of on this Albert Spermer character to try to find the evidence to convict him for being a serial murderer, okay, which he wasn't. And so basically they cover up his murder, okay, and Denzel Washington, goes back to his town, and Rami Malek is taking a few weeks off to forget about it. Of course, he has that in his head, and then he actually sends Jim Baxter, Denzel Washington sends his character that the note says, I forgot what the note said. It said something about, I forgot what the note said, but basically the girl who was looking for had the parents told him that she had a red beret in her hair, and he sent him that in the mail in this envelope. I forgot what the note said, but it basically trying to make him feel better by putting a beret there to make him think that, yeah, this guy was the killer, even though we didn't find any other evidence, to make him try to, get over this, because, he feels guilt because he killed somebody, okay, and there's actually, a serial killer still out there. Now, a lot of people, they said didn't like this ending because basically these cops got away with murder. Denzel Washington cop got away with a murder, and then now Rami Malek got away with a murder, and there's still a serial killer out there that's killing these women, and nobody knows, and so they kind of leave it, because the FBI comes in at the end, so you don't know maybe they will catch the guy, maybe they won't. But basically, two cops get away with committing murder. And, in these times, people don't like. But I think as a movie, it works because it just shows you that things are not always neat like movies are. That sometimes sometimes they don't catch the bad guy all the time. Sometimes the cops don't always catch the bad guys, and that's how things are. Just to let people know that things don't work out like they do in the movies, where the cops find a lead and they find the bad guy and he confesses, and they kill him, and then it's a new day and everything. But this just shows you that sometimes, like as Washington said, it's the little things that get to you, and that can destroy you. Okay, and you can see how it affected Joe Deacon, Denzel Washington's character. There's a scene in particular in the movie where he's in a hotel and he has pictures of a case he investigated before, and and then there's also like a girl at the end of the bed. At first you think maybe this is a prostitute, because earlier when he checked into the hotel, the manager's telling him, "Do you want company?" So you think maybe he sent a prostitute up there, but this is just in his mind. You see a girl at the foot of his bed that he's staring at, and you see her a couple of times in the movie, and then you find out later when they show the flashback, this is the girl that he accidentally were looking for, that he actually accidentally killed. He shot and killed her when they were looking for her, and so he's just feeling this tremendous guilt. Okay, so I mean, I enjoyed the movie. Okay, I know a lot of people didn't like the ending because, like I said, because basically these two cops got away with committing a murder. There's a serial killer out there that they didn't really catch. Okay, so people don't like that, I guess. Especially nowadays, they don't like cops getting away with murder. But I think if you look at it, aside from that, this is a work of fiction. Okay, look at it that way, and it just goes to show you that even good guys makes mistakes. Because they're good people. And they're trying to solve this, serial murder, but they go a step too far and commit the ultimate act. But like I said, these things happen, unfortunately. Life is not neat like movies. Okay, that's, I guess, the point of the movie, that things don't always work out. There's no fairy tale ending sometimes in these things. And basically, like I said, Denzel Washington's character, Joe Deacon, he's living with this guilt for accidentally killing this girl. And now Rami Malek's character is going to have to live with the guilt for killing Jared Leto's character. Okay, he was a weirdo, but he wasn't a serial killer. So, and then, of course, there's still this serial killer that's out there. So there you go. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you've seen The Little Things, what do you think of it? Okay, feel free to leave comments down below. There are links to my social media in the description box: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I also have a link to my other channel, Paul's Views and Opinions. Please check that out as well. I also have a link to my Patreon channel. Please check that out as well. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long, and take care.